Good morning from a very moody Tyrol. Alex and I are just getting ready to head out for the day to do a bit of hiking. And I've spent most of the morning, to be honest, just being like, is this top too bright? Is this too bright? How bright am I? And Alex is like, no, it's fine. Is it fine, guys? Is it?
This is Tyrol, famous for its striking mountains, alpine lakes and beautiful scenic roads. In this video, we stumble across an annual local event and explore Tyrol's beautiful alpine lakes and mountain scenery, starting the day in the small village of Nasserith.
Nasserith is a small town with a population of around 2,000 people. It's cute, it's adorable.
And it's loud.
And it's loud. They're herding sheep through the centre of the village. The herders are sprinting around so fast. They must have to be so fit and healthy to do this. They all have these really long sticks, which I guess they use to kind of block the sheep off from being able to go into people's gardens, because they've been just veering off the road to try and eat the grass either side.
It looks like it's a whole family thing as well. You've got so many people actually helping out here.
So we've just found out this is a kind of an annual event that happens every year where the sheep and lambs come down from their summer break in the mountains back down to the valley. And this is obviously one of the stops along the way. So you can see all the herders sort of having a rest and a drink, and all the locals having a nice old look at the sheep. And then I guess they'll carry on their journey after this. Wow, what a start to our day in Austria. I mean, I don't think you could get more Austrian than that, to be quite honest. I mean, we were quite clearly in a very local celebration back there. I mean, me with my bright orange and out of the camera, we stood out like the tourists with a big sign above our heads. But it was so nice to be able to see such a local thing going on and everyone just chatting, and it felt very, like the atmosphere was very like celebratory, you know, there are even people drinking beers down there. Wow, that was a perfect start to the day. Now I think we're going to head off and try to find some nice nature spots before the weather turns, because there are a lot of clouds in the sky and I don't trust them.
Road trips through the mountains of Austria offer some of the best scenery that Europe has to offer. 5 years ago, we drove the Großglockner Road and cannot speak of it highly enough. This time, we decided to explore the Fern Pass, another popular scenic route with a number of alpine lakes to stop and see along the way. For us, there's nothing quite like the freedom of the open road.
It's very freeing being in the mountains, and especially like road tripping through the mountains. It's a lot less freeing when everyone wants to be free, so you just have we're stuck completely in traffic right now.
Everyone wants to be free.
Everyone wants to be free. That's not the rule. You need 99% of the population to not be free, so
want to be at work.
So other people can be birds. This stupid COVID situation, they get everyone change their shift of focus. Now they want nature.
Now they want to just be happy.
Also, the fact that it's a weekend also helps. Oh, we're moving!
Hooray!
We are fighting against the elements and against time today because the weather forecast is supposed to be crazy storms.
Although I don't know how reliable the forecasts are in the mountains, because when we checked last night it said it was 100% chance of rain all day today, and this morning is lovely. So fingers crossed it actually is much nicer than we think it's going to be.
And if you are coming to the Alps, maybe plan in some buffer days.
Yes.
Unlike us, because we didn't plan in many buffer days. So in terms of filming, we're filming or it's not happening.
Yeah.
We've got to pay €6, but I think it only takes coins.
There's no way we have €6 in coins.
No! We're so close.
We've got 4.
So you're telling me that we've sat in traffic for about 30 to 45 minutes when the rain is coming for the rest of the day very soon.
And they only take coins.
What parking spot has a barrier before you can get into the park? You pay at the parking place. That's the rules. Don't they know the rules? Whoever designed this is the worst Austrian ever.
Worst.
If you're sat at home wondering why don't you just park outside there and then walk to the lake? Well, shut up. You do it, you lazy No, only joking. I'm actually trying that right now, and it doesn't really look like it's going to work. I mean, it looks really nice, but there's no sign. I've been walking for about 5-10 minutes, and there's no sign of the lake. My scouting mission was a complete failure, so I think we're going to have to give up on this idea and try something else.
Luckily, not too far away was the perfect lookout spot for Blindsee, a gorgeous alpine lake located at over 1,000 meters above sea level. Blindsee is also one of the most interesting lakes in the region to explore for scuba divers, due to the many underwater tree trunks and visibility reaching up to 30 meters.
We have found a viewpoint which, it's lovely to see the lake, but it's kind of obstructed by all the awesome trees surrounding it. Having the ability to fly the drone over the top and get to see a perspective that we can't see from here it's just outrageous.
Being able to look at the screen with the lake and the colours of the lake, that kind of greeny turquoise water in the
and
centre.
on the outside of the rim or the edge of the lake, it's like a halo, the way that it's different to the body of the lake.
Yeah, that's a good way of describing it, where I guess it gets more shallow. You have this kind of much lighter shade of like a bluey green colour. Oh,
I'm intrigued.
stunning.
What's your opinion about drones? So in the past, I used to kind of have a negative feeling towards drones because they're not really a realistic representation, because most people don't get to see it from there. But as a filmmaker, watching it and seeing it, it's, oh God,
and
it's incredible.
As a traveller for me as well, like just as a traveller, being able to see a perspective that you usually wouldn't be able to see. Because I guess like in the past, before drones, you would have to pay for a helicopter flight or something if you want to have that perspective. So it's so nice that technology can give us this access, this bird's eye view of a place that we never would have experienced otherwise.
When I'm flying the drone, I get out of it as much as if I was able to see that view myself from a viewpoint, be able to look over it. Even though I can't directly see what I'm seeing, I'm getting just as much out of it. And I love it. So, leave in the comments, what's your opinion on drones?
Carrying on the Fern Pass, we headed to Fernstein Sea, another beautiful lake along the road.
Driving along the Fern Pass, there seems to be lakes just dotted all along that you can pull off to. A number of them seem to be private, like Blindsee. This one here seems to be owned by a nearby hotel. All the signs are in German. I don't know what they say. I recognise the word private, but no one got anywhere without breaking the rules a bit, so we could just, I have no idea, oh sorry, and then we just go. Like, what's the worst they're going to do?
Well, yeah, exactly.
The lakes have a very distinct look to them. You've got swans swimming across it, these little nooks and crannies that we can hide in as well. So like, look over here, like this tiny little tree. This little island reminds me, only Brits would know this reference from a certain age. Do you remember the old weatherman in like Liverpool that used to do his weather reports? I know you won't know it, you lived in America. But like, this is what it was like. Today there's a chance of sunny weather. You can see scuba divers here as well. It looks like you need a permit to be able to do it because it's private, but the visibility is something else. I've never been diving in fresh water before. It's something I would love to do one day, maybe for a future trip. Leave in the comments, where is good for freshwater diving?
Have cleared up. There is finally no traffic. I don't know if that's because it is now freezing out here or if it's because it's Sunday afternoon and people have jobs to get back to. But either way, I'm pretty happy that we have Lake Plansee pretty much to ourselves, which is epic. It is the second largest lake in Tyrol and it is stunning. If you Google Lake Plansee and check out the photos, you will be greeted with some crystal clear, beautiful blue water. You can't really capture that so much today thanks to the grey, cold, freezing weather. Oh God.
Usually the water looks quite still as well.
Yeah.
Not today.
Not today.
I think there's also a bunch of activities that you can do here. Obviously hiking on a day where it's warmer and nicer to go hiking. You can rent paddle boards and boats, we've seen. And I think they actually do boat trips on bigger boats as well because it's such a big lake. You can also swim in this lake, but there is zero chance of that happening today. Instead, I'm going to be taking the warmer option, and I think Alex and I are actually going to drive around.
If you're planning on traveling around Germany and Austria, it's worth bearing in mind that not everything stays open so late in the evenings as back in the UK, and also the same on Sundays. It's quite a religious area as well, so everything is closed on a Sunday, bar a few places like restaurants, so especially supermarkets. There's no supermarkets open today. However, we've got ourselves a little local produce hut with like an honesty box system. And yeah, they have like cheese, yogurts, meats, juices, everything that you could possibly want, all sourced from the local area. We came here last night for a few bits, and we've come back today to stock up on a few things as well. All you've got to do is pick what you want. Everything's labelled with prices, so you write down what you've taken, you put the money in there and work it all out, and that's it.
In the unlikelihood that you're in the area, please buy this cheese.
Chili cheese.
It's incredible.
Really good. We destroyed this last night, so we've come back for seconds.
The same goes for this yogurt. Honestly, do it.
I'm tempted to get a couple. The weather finally seems to be catching up with us. It's just started raining, so we've come back to the town that we're staying in, which is called Nasserith, and we've just swung by the little lake here that's located just a few minutes away from our accommodation, and it's quite sweet. It's a lot smaller than the other lakes that we've seen today, and there seems to be a lot of people on the outskirts of it just fishing, relaxing with family. There's also a restaurant just behind us overlooking the lake, but for now I think we're going to head back to our accommodation and check out the storm from our balcony.
For those of you who watched our last series, you'll know that we're planning on getting a camper van, but moments like this is why I couldn't commit to living fully all the time in a van, as much as I want one.
No, I think we both still would love to have, I guess, like holidays as such from the van, where we stay in these kind of local places, because you can't replicate those experiences or these experiences if you're staying in a van.
But the van will be basically our home, and being able to move our home from A to B will be fantastic. But I think ultimately we still do love the ability to rent an apartment, a hotel, that kind of travel. Especially
this place is adorable. I feel like I'm having like the proper Austrian experience, especially this morning when we were greeted with that army of sheep flowing down the side of the mountain. It was crazy. But I feel like if we were in a camper van, we'd probably be more likely parked up somewhere outside of the town in, you know, a camping area, rather than right here nestled in amongst it all. So we would have missed it.
That said, I can't wait to get the camper van to be able to have that mixture of the two.
Yeah.
Like, I personally don't think there's going to be anything better that we could ever do.
No, it'll give us so much more freedom.
It hasn't been much of a storm so far, but apparently it's coming through over the next few hours.
It's rolling on in. We can see the clouds over the mountains. It's very dramatic.
I couldn't really think of a better place to be watching it from right now than this balcony.
Yeah, I agree. And actually all these traditional Austrian style houses have these really long roofs which actually cover the balcony area, so you keep nice and dry while you can enjoy the storm. The Tyrol area of Austria is not just somewhere to come in the summertime. Also, we've seen ski lifts dotted around everywhere, and I think it would be a wonderful place to come in the winter as well as the summer. So really all year round, I think if you're into nature and the outdoors, this is definitely a place to come.
That is it for today, so make sure you hit subscribe
and leave us a comment. Let us know what awesome local traditions you've seen when traveling.
And what do you think of drones? Tell us in the comments. Okay guys, thank you very much for watching. We'll see you next time, and beans out!
Next time on Travel Beans.
That was insanely good.
So nice.
But what's not insanely good is what happened to Emma.